As a digital product designer, I spend my life obsessing over how products are built and how experiences feel. I'm a huge fan of Apple, not just for the aesthetic, but because they're one of the few companies that truly understands the why behind user behavior. They know that a great product isn't just a spec sheet, it's about how it feels in your hand at 7 a.m. when you're half asleep and reaching for your alarm. But being a fan doesn't mean I buy into every hype cycle. Every year, we see leaks that frankly make zero sense from a UX perspective. Remember 2021? Everyone was convinced the Apple Watch was going boxy. People wanted that sharp edge so badly, they ignored the basic fact that humans have round wrists. It looked cool in a render, but it was a design dead end, at least for the Apple we know. Now, in May 2026, I'm seeing that same pattern with the iPhone Fold. The hype is at an all-time high, but as a designer, I see a series of compromises Apple usually refuses to make, and I didn't see people talking about it, so here is my take on it. Apple doesn't design for a single keynote. They design for a decade. Look at the current iPhone. Yes, the camera bumps are huge, some call them ugly, but as a designer, I see the intentionality. It's a professional tool for creators. And if you don't need that power, Apple gives you the iPhone 17e, a single camera, streamlined alternative. They offer clarity, not confusion. We saw what happens when Apple pushes cool tech without a clear daily why. Now, I still don't fully understand why they took such a massive risk on the Vision Pro. It was a technical masterpiece, but it proved that even perfect hardware fails if the trade-offs are too high. It was a product in search of a problem. From day one, the use case was a struggle. Apple's own presentation focused on home entertainment, which is a very narrow niche for such a massive investment. So the question is, why would Apple repeat that same mistake with their most important product, the iPhone? Look how symmetrical and balanced the iPhone feels, even with a camera cutout and a sensor-filled pill. Instead of treating it as a limitation, Apple turned it into a purposeful UI element. Now look at these Fold mock-ups. One side has to be flat for the hinge, while the other is rounded. It's unbalanced. It's clunky. Does that sound like Apple? Then there's the FaceTime problem. Where do you put the camera? If it's on the inside, it's off-center. If it's on the outside, you can't see the big screen while talking. And I haven't even mentioned Face ID. How do you unlock the phone when it is unfolded? Moving to Touch ID and a power button after years of perfecting Face ID is a massive regression. Apple defines how products should be used. They don't give you 3 mediocre options. The rumors call this the iPhone Ultra, but Ultra at Apple means no compromises. Think of the Watch Ultra biggest battery, most rugged frame. A foldable iPhone is the definition of a compromise. Dual screens mean less internal space for battery, meaning it likely won't compete with the Pro Max for endurance. If the Ultra Fold has worse battery life and fewer cameras than the 18 Pro Max, it's not Ultra. It's just an expensive experiment. Then there's the business logic. Apple rarely cannibalizes its own products unless the replacement is significantly better. Folding iPhone effectively kills the iPad mini. Is a $2,400 folding phone better than a $500 iPad mini? Likely not, especially when you consider the durability of flexible glass. And one last thing, Tim Cook has mentioned he wants to leave the company in a strong position. Introducing a product this risky, especially after the lukewarm reception of the Vision Pro, would be a massive gamble for his legacy. Why end a legendary run by chasing a trend that Apple's own design philosophy rejects? Apple doesn't want to give you one device that does two things poorly. They want to sell you the
best iPhones we've ever created.
Quoting Tim Cook, you can converge a toaster and a refrigerator, but those things are probably not going to be pleasing to the user. There are just too many things here that don't add up. I have a hard time believing Apple would sign off on a design with this many dead ends anytime soon. I might be wrong, but from a designer perspective, I feel like I'm not. But what's your take? Is the bigger screen worth the compromise, or are we just looking at another boxy watch rumor? Let me know in the comments.